Think you need fancy equipment to bake amazing sourdough bread? Think again. Today I'm going back to the basics and proving that great bread can be made with just 4 things. No mixer, no Dutch oven, no special tools, just a bowl, kitchen towel, sharp knife and a baking tray. What a lovely day to bake. My name is Arne, German hobby baker who is living in Luxembourg. For the past year I've been using my spiral mixer to prepare my dough, and it's made my baking life easier, especially when juggling work and baking. But today I'm stripping it all back and making a no-knead sourdough with nothing but the basics. So if you ever thought sourdough is too complicated, think again. So let's get started. This is from Luxembourg with Loaf. We start the evening before we bake by creating our levain by combining 40 grams of water with 40 grams of flour and 5 grams of sourdough starter. We give it a good mix and then we add a rubber band to see the height. The next day we are doing our Autolysis. Therefore we have 280 grams of water and 350 grams of all-purpose flour, as well as 50 grams of whole grain spelt flour. And later we need our levain, as well as 8 grams of salt. So first of all we combine the two flours and then we add water to it. You can add all of the water and then take a spoon and mix everything together. By combining the water and the flour, already gluten development will start, and you will see that after we let the dough rest for 30 minutes. Then we cover the dough, this plate. After 30 minutes it's time to add the levain and the salt. Levain is nice and bubbly, has been doubled in size overnight. So we add that and as well as the salt, and then we take our hand and mix everything together. If you're a little bit more advanced, you can add here a little bit more water. I'm aiming here for 70%, but 75 is also pretty nice. And then we cover it and let it rest for about 30 minutes. And after 30 minutes, it's time to do a first set of stretch and fold. Therefore, you wet your hand and you pull the one side of the dough and pull it all over to the other side of the dough and tuck it in. And then you rotate the bowl and repeat that process all over and over again. You can do around 8 times of these rotations, and then you already feel that there's a lot of resistance in your dough. And then it's time to stop and let the dough sit there for another 30 minutes. After that time we are doing a second set of stretch and fold. Wetten your hands again and then pull the dough from one side to the other. You already will realize that the dough already feels a little bit more silk. And when you feel the resistance, then you can stop here as well. The dough looks already quite smooth, so the gluten development is already going on pretty good. Then we cover the dough again and wait for 30 minutes, and then it's time to do lamination. Therefore we wetten our one hand and then basically we spread some water on our countertop because we want to stretch out the dough as much as we can. So put your dough on the countertop and then take your hands and basically stretch it as far as you can. And if you very light wetten your countertop, then this won't stick on it. And you can already see how much you can stretch it, so the gluten development is going on pretty well. and you can already see through. That's good sign of gluten development. And then you basically put everything together back into the bowl, and we wait for another 30 minutes. But before, you can also like stretch it a little bit more. "30 minutes has been passed, and we're doing the last set of lamination. You can stretch out the dough quite easily, and this is what we want. And then we put everything back together into our bowl. After this step, the dough has to ferment a little longer. So this is called bulk fermentation, and then usually you ferment your dough between 4 to 6 hours. After that time, it should look like this, nice and bubbly, and it should nearly have doubled in size. I waited a little bit too less because I was a little bit impatient this time, but you will later see I still got a good result. Then it's time to dump your dough onto the countertop. Therefore, put a little bit of flour on your countertop and then rotate the bowl. And yeah, it's a little bit hard to get the dough out of this bowl. The dough should feel light and airy. This is what we want. And then first of all, we form a dough ball. So pull the dough towards your body and rotate the dough. This looks good. Adding a little bit more flour on the countertop and also on top of the dough ball. And then I'm cleaning my bowl. Oh, now it's cleaned. And then I'm adding a kitchen towel into it because this will be the Benetton. So if you don't have one yet, you can use this trick. Works quite nicely. Then we add a little bit of flour into that kitchen towel. And then I'm using my squeeze technique. So squeeze the edges together, rotate it and squeeze the edges together again. And then I'm stitching a little bit the sides from one side to the other because I'm here having a round Benetton. Add a little bit flour so that it don't stick. And then you can cover it with the kitchen towel. And of course also the upper side where you want to add some flour, else maybe the kitchen towel would stick. This will now go into the fridge and will ferment overnight. So next day, here's my oven setup. I have 2 baking trays. This will keep the steam close to the bread. If you don't have a second one, it's fine to have only one. And on the lower one, I'm baking the bread. So I've preheated the oven to 250 degrees Celsius. That's 482 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm also here needing a knife and some baking paper. And I'm now taking out the hot baking tray, put the baking paper on it, and then I will dump the loaf on it. And I can recommend using a razor blade, but as this is a no equipment video, I'm here using a kitchen knife and Unfortunately, also this kitchen knife is not even really sharp, so I had some trouble in scoring the loaf. Doing here 2 parallel lines and then 2 parallel lines 90 degrees. And then I also added a cross in the middle. Which looks nice if your knife is sharp. But yeah, as I said, my knife wasn't very sharp. So then I've also prepared a cup of hot water. And then I'm adding the loaf into the preheated oven. And then I'm adding my cup of water, it's only half a cup. And we'll bake that with steam for 10 minutes. After that 10 minutes, I relieve the steam. And look at my mid-bake result. Pretty nice. And I'm reducing the temperature to 220 degrees, that's 428 degrees Fahrenheit, and I will bake it for another 35 minutes. And after that time, I pull the dough out of the oven and let it cool for about an hour. But hey, that looks pretty good for such few equipments. So then it's time to cut the bread. Sound is really good. And now have a look inside. Wow! The crumb looks really good. The bread smells amazing. So I would say this experiment went well. And here are some more impressions of the bread. See some blisters. Really nice dark brown crust and a nice crumb. That looks good. Bon appetit. I hope you enjoyed this video. The bread turned out delicious, but I proofed it a little too short so that the crumb didn't turn out as airy as I hoped. But hey, that's sourdough for you. Sometimes when you tweak a recipe, things don't go exactly as planned. If you give it a little more time to rise, then you get an even lighter, more open crumb. And if it feels too stiff, just add 5% more water next time. What is your biggest challenge with no-knead sourdough? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see more delicious sourdough recipes, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel and turn on notifications so you never miss a bread. I wish you a great day, Eddie, and goodbye.